everyone, this is Brooke Filosa. I'm a real estate agent with Signature Realty and I'm also a Cranford resident. And I wanted to share with you today some of the things that buyers are doing to get their offers approved in today's crazy market from a pricing perspective. So as you know, homes are selling really in record time and often for significantly over asking price, but the winning bids usually stand out for a couple of reasons. And price is usually the most important, although other terms can be important as well. I'm going to focus on price right now because there's a lot of complexities with that. So first of all, cash is definitely king. And the reason for that is because that really poses very little risk for the seller. You know, if the buyer has a mortgage, then they have the mortgage contingency. They have to make sure that, the mortgage has a chance of falling through, and it takes a little time to get a mortgage commitment. So if time is of the essence, they want to sell quickly and they want to know the deal's not falling through, a cash offer is going to stand out. However, if the cash offer isn't the highest offer, and there's offers with a mortgage, those can be very strong as well. So if you are getting a mortgage, the things to consider to make your mortgage strongest are a strong down payment and also a really strong pre-approval that you were working with a reputable lender so that the buyer will know, or the seller will know, that your offer is strong and it isn't going to fall through. So, the important of, and the type of loan that you're going to have. So, there's conventional loans, there's FHA loans, there's construction loans, and, the buyer's really going to think about, the seller's really going to think about what kind of loan you have. So if you have the conventional loans are generally the most secure, and the size of your down payment is very important. So the higher the down payment, again, that's going to show the seller that you have money to fund, and most likely, you're a pretty solid buyer. The other thing, like I said before, is with pre-approval. So it's very important. You absolutely have to get pre-approved before you submit an offer. They're not going to accept an offer without a pre-approval. But the type of pre-approval you have is also very important. So really need to make sure that your pre-approval has a full income verification in that. Some people are getting something that's called a pre-qualification, which is really, a sort of a less formal pre-approval where they're just relying on what the buyer is telling them their income is, but not verifying it. So you need a pre-approval that has been verified income. And one of the things that some of the reputable mortgage brokers are doing now is actually going all the way through the underwriting process during the pre-approval. So if you are submitting an offer and you have a lender that's saying this buyer has already been pre-approved and has gone through the underwriting process, that is going to be a very solid offer to submit to a seller. And it's really going to help to stand out. It's also very important, as a realtor, I always connect with the loan officer that my buyer is working with to make sure I understand the terms. I understand, what kind of pre-approval they've given, and I can help speak to that with the seller's agent and reassure them that, this is a very strong offer. This is a very strong loan officer, and we can definitely make this deal happen. When you're talking to the loan officer, you also need to understand the timeline that they can turn around the mortgage commitment. If time is very important, 30 days, often today in the market, they will turn around a loan commitment in 30 days. It used to be sometimes 45 days or 60 days, but generally it's 30 days, and generally that's what the sellers are looking for in terms of a closing time period, just to ensure that everything happens and gets wrapped up. So those are super important. Lastly, appraisal. So I know you've probably heard the words and rumblings out there that people are just waiving the appraisal. Now, if you're getting a mortgage, you can't just waive the appraisal. That's not an option. Any mortgage is going to require an appraisal in order for them to approve your mortgage. However, what you have the option of doing is paying the difference if your home does not appraise for the offer price. So if a home, for instance, is being sold, you're offering $650,000 for it, and the home appraises for $600,000, you can still buy the home. You can pay the extra $50,000. Now, that doesn't mean you're paying any more money for the house than you were originally offering. It just means that the money is going somewhere different. You're going to pay the $50,000, and then your down payment is going to decrease. So if this is something that you're interested in doing, and it's something that essentially is almost required these days to get an offer accepted that's over asking, you really need to connect with your loan officer to ensure that this is okay and you're still going to be able to approve for the mortgage with a slightly smaller down payment. The other thing is, are you willing to take the risk of buying a home that might not be worth what you're paying for it? Now, in today's market, the market's still going up. You know, that's probably not a huge risk, but it is a risk to take and it's something to consider. And you just have to decide how much you want the property. You know, so obviously in today's market, like I said, there's a lot to consider, especially when it comes to price. So it's just really important that you are working with a strong network of people, a strong realtor, a strong loan officer who can guide you through this process and talk about all the options, and also are on top of the different trends that are out there. You know, if you're putting a bid in on a home and you don't have someone telling you this, you won't know what you're missing. So, you know, it's competitive, but you know, there's still homes out there. So, you know, if you need anything, if you want to talk through with me anything about this and help me, I can help explain it. And I can also talk about some of the other trends out there. You know, like I said, price isn't the only thing. There's other things with inspections and timeline to close. And I can talk a little bit more about those later, but I just wanted to share with you today some of the trends from a pricing perspective. All right, thanks guys. Have a great day.